So siblings without rivalry is probably what every parent wants and what every parent needs. The reality, however, is that every family experiences sibling rivalry. I experience it myself on an ongoing basis, and I try to remember to see it differently, and I don't always. You know, when a parent comes to me looking for help, they invariably talk about that they have one perfect child, and then they have this other child that is driving them all crazy, that everything is a battle, you know. And when I ask them, well, how do you think that child actually feels? Suddenly they start to say, I don't know, maybe they feel bad in themselves. And yeah, absolutely. And how do you think they feel about maybe the brother or the sister? And then they may say, well, funny enough, they often say, you love him more than you love me. And then I say, well, take off your shoes and put on their shoes, and you tell me, how would that make you feel if you were whatever age this child is, 7 or whatever? And they'll say, unloved, maybe unseen, you know, unimportant, not valued. So all of a sudden we start to see it differently. That, and I say this time and time again when I look at any challenging behaviour, of which this is a challenging behaviour, at the very time that you think that this child or teenager, you know, is trying to make your life difficult, you've got to see it differently, that it's the opposite. The child is trying to communicate to you how difficult life is for them. In a family where they feel less favoured, less seen. And I often say to parents, it may not be your perception, but that doesn't really matter. It's theirs. And until you change that perception, nothing is going to change. So what are the things you can do? The number one thing you do with sibling rivalry is offer one-on-one time. Because it meets the need. And what is the need? For more time and positive attention from that parent. Because parents will often say to me, oh, you know, I give them so much time. But when I ask, well, what's the quality of the time? They'll say, oh, you know, not great, because, you know, I'm always reacting to his behaviour. So we'll look at challenging behaviour in another video, but what I want to say here very clearly is that if I, as a parent, try to put the shoes on of that child who feels bad in themselves and feels less loved, and I meet that need, and how would you meet that need? By being kind to them, by being compassionate to them, by getting kind of under the behaviour. So outwardly I'm seeing somebody who's hurting, but what's behind that? So there's two main things that you don't do with sibling rivalry, and I don't always remember to do them myself. One is don't take sides, and the other is never ever compare one child against the other, because an act of comparison is an act of rejection.